Is your ambition a source of pride or annoying unease? We often strive for success, yet secretly employ tactics that clash with our conscious values, a paradox of the human spirit. As Carl Jung wisely stated, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Are you ready to confront the Machiavellian within and reclaim your agency? You feel it, don't you? That unsettling prickle of unease. That's the clash between your idealized self and the Machiavellian tendencies you harbor. It's the weight of your unspoken ambition, the subtle manipulations that succeed in their immediate goal but leave you feeling hollow and detached afterward. This isn't about condemnation. It's about understanding. Because this darkness isn't some inherent evil, it's a symptom, a manifestation of something deeper. You feel powerless, so you seek power, even if it's power born from manipulation. Carl Jung, the visionary psychologist, speaks of the shadow self, the hidden reservoir of our repressed emotions, instincts, and desires that we deem unacceptable. These aren't inherently evil, they're simply aspects of ourselves we've rejected. Jung's insight is powerful. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This shift requires understanding your motivations, confronting your shadow, and aligning your actions with your true values. It's about harnessing your ambition, not suppressing it, but channeling it in a way that enhances rather than erodes your integrity. Look inward. What deep-seated insecurities are fueling your Machiavellian tendencies? What is the source of that desperate need for control? You justified it, of course. It was necessary, strategic. But the taste lingers, bitter and unsatisfying. This isn't about grand acts of malice, but the quiet, insidious victories that leave you feeling more empty than empowered. That gnawing discomfort, that's the shadow of Machiavelli stirring within you. The truth, often hidden beneath layers of rationalization, is that this Machiavellian tendency often stems from deep-seated insecurity. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow self helps us understand this. He believed that our shadow, the parts of ourselves we deem unacceptable or repress, holds immense power. It's not inherently evil, but it's potent and unchecked if left in the darkness. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This shift demands courage, a willingness to examine your motivations, unearth the root of your insecurities, and understand why you've relied on these manipulative tactics. The power doesn't lie in outsmarting others, but in understanding yourself and building genuine, mutually beneficial relationships. This isn't about abandoning your ambition, it's about refining it, aligning it with your values. Ask yourself, what deep-seated fears or insecurities fuel your Machiavellian impulses? A dark stain on the otherwise pristine tapestry of your self-image. You might tell yourself it's ambition, strategy, even necessary ruthlessness. But deep down, it's something else, something darker. That darkness, my friend, is the whisper of your shadow self. It's not some monstrous villain lurking in the shadows, waiting to pounce. It's the collection of suppressed emotions, fears, and instincts you've deemed unacceptable, too dangerous, too shameful to acknowledge. He spoke of the shadow self as the unconscious part of our psyche, the repository of all that we reject and repress. Until you make the unconscious conscious, he said, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is the crux of it. Your Machiavellian tendencies aren't some inherent flaw, but rather a symptom of an unintegrated shadow. They are a desperate attempt to control the things you fear most. They are a defense mechanism born from vulnerability. Power isn't about manipulating others, it's about mastering yourself. It's about the conscious cultivation of your strengths and the compassionate understanding of your weaknesses. So I ask you, what unspoken fears are fueling your Machiavellian tendencies? What hidden wounds, what buried insecurities are driving your need to control others and situations? The journey begins by looking inward, by facing the uncomfortable truths about yourself. This unease stems from a deep-seated insecurity, a gnawing fear of vulnerability. Perhaps you grew up in a chaotic or unpredictable environment where trust was a luxury you couldn't afford. Maybe you witnessed betrayal, learned early on that relying on others was a risky gamble. This created a deep-seated need for control, a desperate belief that your safety and success depend entirely on your own machinations. Jung stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." The key isn't to eliminate this aspect, but to integrate it, to understand its motivations and find a more conscious way of channeling its energy. Instead of viewing power as manipulation, a zero-sum game where someone must lose for you to win, consider it authentic influence. This isn't about becoming a pushover, it's about shifting your approach. Are they truly reflecting your values, or are they the desperate cries of a vulnerable self struggling for control? The path forward begins with self-compassion, with accepting the whole of yourself, the light and the shadow. It's a journey of integration, not eradication. And it's a journey well worth undertaking. You feel it, don't you? That unsettling unease, that nagging whisper in the back of your mind. The root of this internal conflict often lies hidden, buried deep within the recesses of your psyche. It's a fear, a primal fear of vulnerability, of powerlessness. Perhaps it stems from a past betrayal, a childhood experience where your trust was shattered, leaving you feeling perpetually unsafe. This insecurity fuels a desperate need for control, a compulsive drive to manipulate situations and people to ensure your perceived safety and success. It's the rejected parts of yourself that you've hidden away, hoping they'll disappear. But they won't. Ignoring them only strengthens their power, allowing them to control your actions from the darkness. The shadow, in its desperation for recognition, will often manifest in unexpected, sometimes unsettling ways. The reframe begins with acceptance. It's not about eliminating your ambition or your drive, it's about understanding the asterisk why behind those actions. This journey of self-mastery begins with the simplest act, confrontation. Begin to look honestly at your motivations. What drives you? What fears fuel your actions? Journal your thoughts, meditate on your actions, seek the guidance of a therapist. Whatever method helps you unveil the truth of your inner workings. Are you ready to face your inner demons, to understand the hidden motivations that drive your behavior? The path to true power lies not in manipulation, but in self-awareness and conscious choice. We've all, at some point, prioritized self-interest, subtly manipulated situations, or bent the rules to get what we want. It's the uncomfortable realization that the person you strive to be is different from the person you sometimes are. This is the struggle. The hidden cause, it often lies buried deep in insecurities, a primal fear of vulnerability. Perhaps you experienced betrayal, witnessed injustice, or faced a world that felt unforgiving. Carl Jung reminds us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Your Machiavellian tendencies aren't your fate, they're a symptom of an unresolved inner conflict. Jung's concept of the shadow self illuminates the root of this struggle, a part of ourselves we repress, the desires we deem unacceptable. Your shadow isn't inherently evil, it's a repository of unmet needs, unprocessed trauma, and powerful, untamed ambition. Shift from a mindset of scarcity, where you believe there's only so much to go around, to one of abundance, where collaboration leads to shared success. Instead of maneuvering for a win, create win-win scenarios. Embrace integrity. It's a harder path, but a far more fulfilling one. The question remains, how will you choose to wield your ambition? Will you continue to let your shadow control your actions, or will you integrate it, transforming your drive into a force for ethical influence? You may convince yourself it's strategy, pragmatism, even necessary ambition. But deep down, a part of you recoils. That recoil is vital. This unease doesn't stem from some inherent wickedness, but from a deep-seated insecurity, a fear of vulnerability that drives you to control situations rather than trusting in yourself and the natural flow of events. This shadow, encompassing those parts of yourself you deem unacceptable, isn't inherently evil. It holds power, yes, but this power is chaotic and destructive if left unchecked. It's the raw, untamed energy you've repressed, an energy that now seeks expression through manipulation and control. The reframe isn't about abandoning ambition, it's about reclaiming your power, redirecting that energy. Instead of wielding power through manipulation, choose authentic influence. So consider this. What deep-seated insecurities are fueling your inner Machiavelli? Are you prepared to confront these shadowy aspects, to understand and integrate them into a more authentic and empowered version of yourself? The journey to self-mastery is about embracing the full spectrum of your being, the light and the dark, and choosing, consciously, to align your actions with your deepest values. This is not a destination, but a journey of continuous self-discovery.